Greetings, my dear viewer. You're on the channel The Price of Cheating. The channel is for those who appreciate traditional family values and condemn adultery. So be sure to subscribe to the channel. Let's get started. I woke at dawn as the first rays of light seeped through the morning haze, accompanied by the clear calls of mountain birds. Lying motionless, I listened to the faint rustling around the camp where chipmunks searched for crumbs from last night's meal. In that quiet moment, I allowed myself to feel a rare, fleeting sense of peace, absorbing the soothing beauty of nature, a sensation I hadn't experienced in years. But just as this calm took hold, reality crashed down on me, heavy and relentless. At this high altitude, the air was sharp and crisp, and stepping out of the tent, I was greeted by a majestic lake surrounded by snow-capped peaks. I wanted to stay in that morning stillness, let everything else fade away, maybe even spend the day fishing. But today was the day I had dreaded for weeks, a day I could no longer postpone if I wanted to move forward. I prepared a simple breakfast, eggs and sausages frying on a propane burner, and strong black coffee. As I ate, preparing myself for the long hike ahead, I found a quiet sense of contentment in the morning ritual. I reminded myself that life holds beauty and joy if we keep moving forward. Deep down, I knew I'd return to the things that once brought me happiness: hiking, fishing, trekking, and sailing, all the things I had set aside for 30 years of marriage. Once, I believed my wife was the love of my life. Now, she was a woman I had once sincerely thought of that way. Nonetheless, I remained optimistic, hoping that perhaps one day there would be another chance for love. The trail on the way back was silent, and with every step, I felt a slight relief, meeting not a soul along the way. At my car, I gathered my belongings and headed for the main road. After 4 days off the grid, I turned on my phone, expecting a flood of messages and emails accumulated during that time. As I approached the highway, a notification appeared, a message from my son, Ryan. Over the years, Ryan and I had grown close. Our bond had strengthened through hardships. We had become not just father and son, but friends who shared mutual respect and love. Ryan's message was brief, yet sincere. "Dad, I love you and support you. Good luck today. Hang in there. There's always light at the end of the tunnel somewhere ahead." His words stirred something deep within me, giving me the strength I had been lacking for the challenges to come. The next message was from my daughter, Krista. She, too, expressed her love and support. "Daddy, how I wish I were there to hug you and tell you that everything will be okay. You're the best father we could have dreamed of. You always put us first. Now it's time for you to put yourself first. No matter what happens, Ryan and I love you and will always be here for you." Krista had always been my little girl. She reminded me of Linda in her youth, but she'd inherited my adventurous spirit, love for nature, and wild sense of humor, traits Linda never had. My children were my pride, and knowing that they loved and respected me filled me with the strength to seek a future with room for hope and happiness. I paused briefly, reading through the messages, catching up on emails, voicemails, and missed calls. Linda had tried to reach me 12 times over the last 4 days. I assumed the first 8 calls came while she was at a banking seminar and work event. The last 4 were likely after her return, when she realized I hadn't come to pick her up at the airport. I imagined her frustration when she realized I wasn't answering her calls or texts. Ignoring her voicemails, I deleted them and opened my inbox, where I found around 30 unread messages from Linda over the past few days. But I didn't respond to any of them. Skimming her messages, I noticed that at first, she spoke of love, a sentiment I interpreted as guilt. Reading further, I saw her tone turn angry, accusing me of abandoning her at the airport after she'd waited over an hour. Her last message was a curt, "What the hell, Jack?" in all caps, a stark sign of how strained our relationship had become over recent months. I doubted she understood the depth of my pain or how weakened my feelings for her had become. Had she really grown so distant during these difficult months? I wondered if she'd forgotten the love we once shared, the family we'd built, the promises we'd made to each other. Her indifference hurt me more deeply than her betrayal. At 53, Linda still attracted attention. Her confidence and charm remained steady in any setting, social or professional. but I could no longer ignore the widening gap between us, a divide that now felt insurmountable. Seeing her by my side always stirred a quiet pride within me. I relished the way other men would steal glances at her, how their interest would flare before they quickly looked away. I felt a deep, personal satisfaction that she was mine, a feeling that lifted my confidence as we walked through crowds of admiring strangers. I often told her how beautiful and desirable she was, but she brushed off my words, mentioning her age and hinting at a fading sense of youth. It was clear these thoughts weighed on her, and I tried to assure her that time only made her more beautiful. She would just smile and say I was supposed to think that way because I was her husband, because I loved her. Then John Monroe entered her life, her younger boss, whose presence seemed to rekindle something she thought had long faded. For Linda, he became the spark she hadn't felt in years. In her eyes, I had now become just a reliable, subdued companion, a devoted friend she hardly noticed. I no longer even sensed the closeness of friendship, but that didn't seem to bother her. John Monroe, her wealthy, self-assured boss, was tall, lean, and carried himself with such self-importance that I found it offensive. His presence grated on me, while Linda looked at him as a model leader. She would often talk about him, but then her stories suddenly stopped around 6 months ago. I now realize that's likely when her affair began, a quiet, inevitable end to our 30 years together. Holding back the pain inside, I grabbed my phone and in a fit of anger, deleted all her messages before moving on to other emails. My lawyer assured me that everything for our divorce was already in motion. Then I noticed a new message in a private chat. A brief report about some man injured during a robbery, his knee shattered, and one testicle crushed. The message disappeared as soon as I read it. In another email, I saw that my resignation had been accepted. My 401k and stocks sold, and the funds transferred to my new account. The tax hit would be harsh, but I didn't care. It was time to go. Just as I pulled out of the driveway, my phone rang, and Linda's name appeared on the screen. Now or never. I decided to get through the conversation quickly, like ripping off a Band-Aid. I slowed down, turned off the engine, and answered, trying to keep my tone even. "Hello, Linda. What's going on?" "What's going on?" she shot back, her voice sharp. "Where are you? You didn't pick me up from the airport. There's no note, no response to my messages all week. What's happening, Jack?" "Oh, Linda," I replied calmly. "I honestly didn't think you cared where I was. I thought you'd prefer if I kept my distance. Gives you time to prepare, play your role for me, for the kids, and for our friends. Isn't that how your double life works?" "What?" Her voice faltered, uncertainty slipping into her tone. "Jack, what are you even talking about? There's no double life. You know I'm often away for work. And why won't the kids answer my calls or messages? And what happened to our bed? I had to sleep in the guest room last night. Jack, seriously, where are you?" "Feels like a distorted reality, doesn't it?" I replied, colder than usual. "Welcome to the life you chose for us, Linda." Her anger softened, and confusion laced her voice, as if she was beginning to grasp the consequences of her actions. "Jack, what do you mean?" she asked quietly. "Where are you?" "Does it matter? I'm not in town, Linda. For the past week I've been trying to deal with the betrayal, trying to figure out how to move forward after everything I thought I knew." She fell silent, and I heard a slight tremor in her voice at the word betrayal. But she collected herself, and her tone grew sharper again. "Are you drunk, Jack? What are you even talking about?" "Let's start with the basics, Linda. How was this banking conference? Did John manage to monopolize every morning and evening, or was he satisfied with just the nights?" Linda froze, holding her breath. After a moment she asked, "What are you even talking about? John? What John?" Her voice sounded confused, and she added, "Why are you saying these things? I'm your wife." "Yes, Linda, you're my wife," I replied, my voice heavy. "But I don't understand how you can call this a marriage. 30 years of marriage, and you still can't just be honest. I know that lately you couldn't care less about me or our family, but I was hoping that, at least now, you'd find it in yourself to tell the truth." Her voice trembled, and she whispered, "Jack, I don't understand what's happening. I love you, only you." I expected this denial. "Just to be clear, we're talking about John Monroe." Her silence told me everything. I continued, "Did you think I would never find out, or did you just not care? If you wanted to leave, even for someone else, why couldn't you just say it outright? That would have been less painful than dragging us all through lies." Her voice cracked. "Jack, please, don't talk about divorce. I love you. Come home. We'll talk everything over. There's no one else, I swear. How could you even think that?" It was painfully clear she thought I had no evidence, which was why she kept pretending. "Are you telling me that John Monroe was never in our bedroom, on our mattress, the very one that's now gone?" "What? No, absolutely not," she responded, sounding as if she was genuinely shocked. "Wait, Linda," I said, pausing as I picked up one of the photos I had gathered. 5 weeks ago, when my suspicions grew too strong to ignore, I had set up a small camera in the clock on our dresser. I sent her one of the images and continued, "Linda, look at the photo I just sent you. Are you going to tell me that isn't my wife in our bed, with her boss?" There was silence, and then I heard her hang up. Moments later, the phone erupted with her agonized cry. "Jack, please! It was just a mistake, just one time. It didn't mean anything, just a fleeting desire to feel wanted again. It wasn't supposed to hurt you. I'm so sorry." I took a deep breath, struggling to stay composed. "Linda, look out the window. Do you see the burnt remains in the backyard? That was our mattress, a symbol of what you've done to us, to our marriage, to me. You burned it all, treated our life as something disposable." The silence between us was thick, almost tangible. "When did I become someone you could wound so deeply, Linda? When did our family, our life together, stop being worth your honesty?" Through her sobs, she pleaded, "Jack, please forgive me. I love you truly. I could never hate you. I want to dedicate my life to making it right. It was a terrible mistake, selfish and thoughtless, but it was only one time. It was never about you." "Linda," I said, cold yet certain, "the children and I have been through enough. Do you think you're ready to be honest with me now? Is this the reason the kids stopped answering my calls? Did you speak with them, Jack? Did you somehow make them turn against me? How could you, Linda? I did nothing to make them resent you. This mess, it's entirely your fault. It's your actions, Linda, your selfish choices, and that friendship that brought us here. You let another man come between us, and it tore our family apart. I never turned the kids against you. They came to me on their own. Do you realize how sad that is? I never imagined you could betray us, that you'd walk away from us so easily. Stop pretending. We both know this wasn't a one-time thing. It lasted 6 months, didn't it? You slowly withdrew from us piece by piece, shutting down emotionally, and we just watched. Maybe the worst part is that you didn't even notice as it happened. You stopped talking to us, stopped looking at me. We hardly touched, and even when we did, it was empty. I'm sickened by it. Jack, I swear it was nothing. Just a stupid mistake, a moment of weakness in 30 years of marriage. I want you, not him. Please believe me, Jack." "Linda, wait. I took out the next photo, the one Ryan took when he dropped by unexpectedly for some tools. He came into the house, heard you and Monroe in the bedroom, and quietly approached the door. He took a picture and even recorded a short video. It took him 3 weeks to find the courage to tell me, and he only did it after discussing it with Krista and agreeing that I needed to know. We sat together and I watched them break down, showing me what you did with your boss. After that, I set up a hidden camera. I sent you the photo, Linda, look at it. That was the first hard evidence of your affair, but I'm sure it started long before that, maybe even 4 months before Ryan's photo. You've been pulling away for much longer than I can bear." Ryan noticed it first. He saw you with Monroe and documented it. Do you realize how much that hurt him, Linda? To see his mother tearing our family apart? He and Krista had to decide whether to tell me, trying to handle what they had seen. How can they respect or trust you after this? Do you understand the pain they had to endure watching you destroy everything we built? They were devastated, sitting across from me, telling me you cheated. Stop trying to say it was once or just a random mistake. This has been ongoing. On your last trip, you were with him 8, maybe even 10 times. One more lie and I'm done. Jack, please, just listen. I heard Linda's voice tremble, tears falling, maybe even sinking to her knees under the weight of her betrayal. Oh, Jack, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I was overwhelmed, not thinking clearly, but it's over. It was just passion, a cheap attraction, a reckless mistake. It made me feel desired, alive in some twisted way. But there was never love, Jack. I never wanted to hurt you. Only now do I see how far I went, how distant I grew from you and the kids. I can barely look at myself. It's like staring into a nightmare. I hate who I've become, Jack. I love you, I love the kids, and I miss the life we had. Jack, please come back. Let me try to make things right. I want us to be a family again. Linda, there is no us anymore. It's over. You can't claim to love me while betraying me like this. You showed complete disregard for my feelings. And now, because of your lies, the trust between us is dead. Every memory feels tainted, every shared moment ruined. You've been seeing him for 6 months, if not longer. How many others were there? Should I question if I'm the father of our children? It doesn't even matter because I'll never believe you again. And thanks to you, I now have to get tested myself. There's nothing left between us anymore. You've hurt me in ways I couldn't have imagined, deeper than anyone else ever has. The woman I once loved and trusted with my life just threw me away without a second thought. Maybe someday the kids will come back to you, but I know I can't. Jack, please, she whispered, her voice trembling with desperation. I'll do anything. I'll go to therapy. I'll agree if you want to see other women. Just don't leave me. Her voice carried such grief. I've been carrying this guilt for so long, always wanting to stop, but again and again I came back to you. Her breaths were as uneven as her words. It was just a fleeting affair. Please, forgive me. I'm so sorry. Linda, I said, my voice cold and detached. Don't waste your energy. I don't believe you, and frankly, I don't care anymore. To make things perfectly clear, on Monday, you'll receive divorce papers at the bank. She tried to interrupt me, pleading again. Please, Jack, don't do this. Don't leave me, she begged, her voice breaking. But her words couldn't reach me. I'm serious, Linda. And if you think that's the end of it, you're mistaken. I've already sent copies of photos and videos of your affair to your boss's wife. You and John Monroe can be together when his wife and I leave him. I doubt you thought of the consequences. Her voice was barely audible. Jack, tell me you didn't send them. He has a wife and children. You'll ruin their lives. I just shook my head. Do you really not understand? I'm not the one who ruined their family. You and John did that. Your reckless affair didn't just shatter my life. It hurt our kids, his wife. You destroyed 8 lives with your selfishness, but I don't expect you to understand that. I doubt you even care. Her sobs grew louder, more desperate. I could hear her breaking, but I continued. As for John, he'll have his reckoning too. I'm filing a civil suit against him for destroying my marriage. But as far as I know, he's already had a rough time. Seems he was mugged in the airport parking lot and ended up in the hospital with serious injuries. Who knows when he'll be back at work? Stop, Jack, please, she sobbed, her voice fractured. I don't care about him. I only want you. Don't do this to us. Linda, this isn't about us anymore. It's about something bigger. By next week, you and John might not have jobs. I've handed all the evidence over to the bank president and board of directors. You'll likely be fired. She could barely respond, her voice shaking. Jack, how can you hate me so much? This isn't about hate, Linda. It's your betrayal, your lies, your disrespect. You took my love and crushed it. Now I'm just trying to keep what's left of my self-respect before this ends. Her sobs continued, muffled by her sorrow. It wasn't easy to say, and truthfully it hurt me too. Beneath all this anger, I still loved her. I hated what she did, but that love continued to haunt me, even as I stood my ground. I had to end this. Linda, listen carefully. I've taken $40,000 from our savings to cover Krista's tuition for the next 3 years. I'll support her as best as I can, but this is what I can offer right now. I paused. I'm leaving you the house. I've signed the papers to transfer it to you. If you decide to sell it, you'll get around $150,000 and give me half. Her gasp cut through the silence. I don't want to sell the house, Jack. I don't want any of this. Please, come back. We can try to rebuild everything for the sake of what we had, for the love we shared. Her voice was filled with sorrow, but I didn't respond. If you sign the divorce papers, I'll leave you half of everything, or you'll lose it all, I concluded. For the first time, her voice fell silent, and the quiet between us lingered, as though it were the last page of a story neither of us wanted to end like this. I'll take everything we have. After this, you'll have nothing left. Your stance on the divorce no longer matters. I'm leaving, and I'm not staying to discuss or negotiate. Do what you want with whatever remains, because I don't care anymore. Linda, there are a few more things to clarify. By the time you read this, you'll realize I've moved out. I left my wedding ring on the dresser, treated as you treated our marriage. Ryan will swing by to pick up some of my fishing and hunting gear. He'll come when you're not there. Don't be alarmed if you find some things missing. He doesn't want to see you. Krista will also come to retrieve her belongings, although she's not planning on returning here. She too preferred to come in your absence, so expect her room to be empty. One more thing, Linda. I shared photos of your fun times with your parents, my parents, and everyone in our contact list. You might want to think about the story you'll tell them. I won't let you paint me as the villain in our broken marriage. Her cries grew louder, almost turning to hysteria. I feared she might pass out at any moment, but it had to end like this. Finally, Linda, I quit my job and I'm leaving the state. I need to be far away from all of this. Someday I hope to meet a woman who values commitment, respects me, sees me as her equal, a person I can trust. I hope you find whatever it was you were looking for too. But don't try to find me. If you need anything, contact Ryan or my attorney. Otherwise, this is it. Our paths have diverged. Goodbye, Linda. I heard her yelling after me, begging. Jack, don't go. Forgive me, Jack. A shadow of regret and sadness began to weigh on my thoughts. Somewhere deep down, I knew I had crossed a line, and it might take a long time, if ever, before I could forgive myself for this cruelty. I doubted I would ever forgive her, but I knew my path would be difficult, requiring healing and time before I could trust again. Above all, I refused to let bitterness consume me. Linda had refused to sign the divorce papers, so I had taken action. Our prenup came into effect. Linda was left without a home and without money, like a stray dog. Even her lover refused to help her. But I felt not a trace of pity for her. She got what she deserved. This concludes the story. If you like it, then put your powerful like and subscribe to the channel.